Hey, I'm Lindsay Lyman. I worked almost 12 years at Amazon and saw so many brilliant and successful overachievers burn themselves out and leave their jobs because they're so stressed and anxious. But guess what? Having a successful career does not have to be at the expense of your mental sanity and personal time. There's an easier way, and I can show you how. Let's do this. Hey, y'all. Today I want to talk about work-life balance, but not from the traditional lens that we normally talk about it from. So you've heard all of the tips and tricks and cliche sayings about how to have work-life balance. It's not even really a thing, I don't think, that we ever achieve, right? It's things like push back, say no, ruthlessly prioritize, delegate. You know, you got to let some of the rubber balls drop. You can't drop the glass balls. We're all juggling a ton of these different balls in the air. It's things like learn how to calendar better and follow it. Totally cool. These things are great and they do help. And I agree with a lot of them. But here's the thing. Logically, you get it. Logically, you know that's what you need to do. But if you're really struggling with having this balance, it's probably because you got so much going on. It doesn't feel like a good option to do these things when you're in the thick of it. What feels like the better thing to do, the safer option, the more realistic, the one that's going to actually work, is to just like work like crazy, do the thing, push through it, because your brain believes it'll get better when. It'll get better once we get through this launch. It'll be better when school's out. It'll be better when school's back in. It'll be better when I have a new job. Like whatever the thing is, your brain really does believe it's important right now to be all in, doing tons of work on this thing right now. We got to power through. We got to push through. And once we get on the other side, it's going to be better. Okay. So that's what feels safer and better to you. That's why sometimes these things that we know logically are the right thing to do don't actually feel like a good option, because the stronger belief is, no, I just got to push through and then it'll get better. Yet at the same time, someday never comes, right? There's always something else. There's always another project. There's always another problem. There's always another thing. So today I want to talk to you about a totally different way to think about and try to get at this work-life balance. And it's not from working more efficiently, getting smarter with how you work. In fact, it's the opposite. Okay. So what I want to offer to you to think about today is, if you're struggling with work-life balance, I want you to focus on play. But I want to talk about this in two different ways. I want you to stop playing through one lens, and through another lens, I want you to start playing. So let me explain what I mean by this. A lot of times at work, we are quote unquote play working. Think back to like when you were a little kid and you would use your imagination. And I used to like to play Barbies with my neighbor, Tyler. He and I would get together and we would play Barbies and we would ride bikes and we'd play in the dirt and we would play. We would make up these games and they would like go to the grocery store and the Barbies would have parties and we would get them dressed and we were playing house. We weren't actually living and functioning in a house. We were little kids. We were playing. We do the same thing at work. We quote unquote play work. People sometimes refer to this as busy work, but I think it's a little bit different, because to me, busy work, it's still work that needs to get done. Like busy work is things like I got to update the status report. I need to turn in my expenses. Like that's busy work. It does actually need to get done. It doesn't require a ton of brain power. It's annoying. Like that's busy work. When I say quote unquote play work, what I mean by this is things you're doing that aren't actually helping you reach a goal or make a real impact, or aren't things that like you just got to stay on top of operationally to help the business run. So it's things like making sure you have inbox 0, right? Making sure you don't have any little red notification icons. A lot of instant message communication back and forth. It's play work. It's not necessary. It's not helpful. It's not helping anyone reach a goal. A lot of emails are the same way. Status meetings I would argue, often turn into this because some executive wants to be hand-fed the data that's in the status report. We have a meeting. This is quote unquote play work. We're playing work. We play work when we have a presentation or a document due and we spend extra time preparing and getting ready and practicing for it. We play work when we're over preparing for a meeting. You want to prepare for a meeting, but to a point, not so that you don't get asked a single question you don't know the answer to. That's not effective. That's playing work. You want to prepare enough to have an effective conversation and figure out what you need to know going on from there. We play work when we over-research things before making a decision and just going and doing something. For me, I notice I play work as I work for myself when I'm like worried about updating my website or rebranding or even replying on social media posts. Now, I'm not saying any of these things are bad. They're just not helpful. We just need to stop playing work. I almost think of it like if you're trying to get ready to go out of town. So you've got to pack, you need to take the trash out. For me, I've got to take the dog somewhere. I've got to arrange some kid things. There's a lot to do before I go out of town. When I'm play working in that scenario, I'm making sure the house is clean and all the laundry is folded. Like those sort of things aren't actually necessary to get me to the goal of getting ready to leave town. They're nice to have. I love coming home to a clean house. But if I'm spending my time cleaning the house, I'm not actually working towards my goal of getting ready to leave town. So when we think about work-life balance, we want to stop the play work. Okay? What are the things you're doing where you're just playing work? And I want you to start getting better at actual play. This could happen at work or this could happen outside of work. But let me tell you what I mean by this. I'm not talking about big crazy things. I'm talking about daily little things you can do to play. Kids are so good at this. They do it all the time. When you play, you're not just taking a break. A lot of times when we take a break, we're like zoning out because we need to rest. Awesome. I'm pro rest. Like definitely make sure you're resting and you're going to need that at times. But what I want you to do is not just spend all your time when you're not in the production monkey mode resting. I want you to spend some of that time playing, even just 10 minutes a day, just 10 minutes of play. True play re-energizes you. It gives you that dopamine hit that you get from being a production monkey at work, but in a playful, enjoyable way that is rejuvenating you. It's giving you energy. It's keeping you motivated. It's getting you back on track. Because when you take 10 minutes and you start playing, you're going to be more focused when you come back to work. You're going to be more motivated. You're going to be more present and pay attention to what you're doing and not feel as much of the need to quote unquote play work. You're going to be willing to say, no, I don't actually need to clean the house right now. If I have time, I'll get to it, but cleaning the house is not important. I just got to get ready for the trip. You want to just do little bits of it daily. For me, it's like reading a good book, writing. I love a good craft project. I love embroidery. I love to make felt flowers. Like I just love a good craft project. It's baking. It's playing the piano. It's playing the guitar. It's playing Beat Saber. It's working in my yard, working on house projects, cleaning out a drawer. These little things energize me. At work, it's doing something to make someone laugh in a meeting. Playing a practical joke on someone, talking to strangers. At work, one of my favorite ways to play is to like stand the wrong way in an elevator and talk to strangers in the elevator. Like I just love it. It makes people so awkward and uncomfortable. And I'm just a weirdo and I love it. And it energizes me and it gives me a chance to play, rejuvenate myself, and go all in back on my work. So just 10 minutes of play. So we want to stop pretending that we're working and we want to start actually playing more. Most of us zone out when we take a break. This is why we do like doom scrolling, or we watch TV and we doom scroll. Make a point to play in a way that's energizing you and refreshing you and rejuvenating you. Now, this is easier said than done. You may not know what those activities are, and that's okay. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's different for everyone, and I found at different seasons of my life, some things don't actually energize me. Just start with something. Just experiment with it. Just try something today, and then tomorrow try something else, and try something else the next day. There's no wrong way to do this. What you want to do is look at the end of the 10 minutes, do I feel re-energized? That's the goal. Okay, so when it comes to work-life balance, the way I think you're going to be able to do some of those things you logically know you should do, of say no, ruthlessly prioritize, delegate, all that stuff, you got to stop pretending to work, and you got to give yourself 10 minutes to actually go and play, to give yourself enough energy to go and do those things. All right, y'all. You're amazing. You got this. We'll talk soon. If what you're learning from this podcast is helping, this is just the beginning. Each week, I offer a limited number of coffee chats so that you and I can connect one-on-one and talk specifically about what's going on for you. You'll leave this call feeling more hopeful and motivated, but I'm also going to teach you a few things to try right away to get unstuck. Space is very limited and these are free, so grab your spot before they're gone. Click the link in the show notes or go to lindsaylymancoaching.com/chat and sign up today. You got this.